Something went wrong with Stream Decker. But Macwinsos is very generously donating 2 old bordered Force of Negotiations to the prize pool of the No Bonus Modern Tournament, which is very nice. Thank you for that. And I guess that expands the prize pool. So we'll think about redistributing this. How much is Force of Negotiation on model now? Promo, 20 tickets. Force of Eng. So I guess now we can do first, second, third, fourth. I guess. So tentatively we'll be going by that Splitteroni. Alright, thank you very much for the donation, Sauce, and let's go with the last match of the league. I will donate 239 basic lands. No, thank you. Unless you mean 239 pixels, no islands, then I guess. Rapid Buka too. I'd like to donate a full Mind Goblin for the prize pool. Mind Goblin, what? Will the NBL tournament have door prizes? Door prizes? I'm thinking autographed scrap heap scroungers for everyone. I don't get it. The giveaway of the intro decks, what is he gave you? Yeah. We had like an intro deck, the ferry, and an intro deck something else. It's the funniest outcome that Stockburn wins the entire NBL. Would be pretty funny, yeah. Also remember we're in trouble, bros. I remember when there was the Red Bull thing. And the Red Bull thing, we just made it so that I think I asked you to like guess a 6-digit number in the chat. And or maybe it was a 4-digit number even. 6 would be a lot. And the chat was just full of like people spamming numbers for 20 minutes until somebody ran into the number, which was pretty funny. So here I could go what? Bobo, kill the paladin, and find Brazil. I think I hope the other hand is nothing and I play Shredder rather. How do I beat nothing here? By drawing Brazil Borrower and Lightning Bolt. And then something else. It's not easy, but I take 10 damage. Maybe 12, they swap probably. Then there's Construct, another hammer coming from this with the staff, but assuming this can be killed. You know, it's tough, for sure. Hmm. Okay, dead. But I have to dress down. Fury. Explosives, so we don't worry. Let's bring the moons over the charms. But charm is kinda good sometimes, so it's a bit tough. And I'm on the play, they let on the Ornithopter, so no proof that they play Mem Knight. I'll catch 2 counter spell. Probably still cat 2 Ragavan on the play. Here's the pierces too. I want 2 moon or just 1. I'll try 2 for now. Or 0 forehead. Forehead indeed. I will want 0 on the draw, I think. What is my best draw now? A creature? A Conster into Ledger Shatter is, I think, the best. But also a Conster into Murktide Regent is a pretty good one too. Chad, if Tarmogoyf said, at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card and discard a card. On top of its ability that it has right now, how much better would it be? Tarmogoyf with upkeep, discard, draw. Draw, discard. Nice hand. No, it would be draw and discard every turn. Half you played Tarmo and Shredder together. I don't think I've seen many decks like that. It's fine, it triggers to attach itself to itself, but obviously you can do that. Click yes, break game. Opponent chose not to. Boring. I think I'll put explosives on 2. I don't want to iterate yet. I don't want to like... I can't waste this iteration. I could also put explosives on 1 too. They don't have a saga in play, so like I don't quite need that yet. I guess I'll die to 2 hammers. Anyways. Let's go, Piffing Needle. If you click yes, will become equipment. I am sure that somewhere in the rules of reconfigure it says that the creature cannot reconfigure itself. Or that it cannot reconfigure itself to cannot be equipped to itself. Okay, they did have 2 hammers. Unlucky. $50 points, so we got 2 wins this league. The best unbeatable deck, Blue Red. Could have played around that by placing explosives on 1 and passing, which maybe was a better. It's maybe a better route, but then of course they make a different play. We passive explosives on 1. Hard to say. Well, let's try again, I guess. We got a 2-3, which is going to slowly creep up with better results. Against goblins, maybe was winnable. Against oops, I think wasn't winnable. Actually, against oops, since they play silence, the silence is kind of weak to dress down. So I probably shouldn't have spewed my dress down against them, because if I assume they will play silence, then keeping dress down in hand is pretty effective. Because it does not get countered by silence. Okay. So most games seem winnable. Seem to have been winnable. The hammer one also may be winnable. Will the NBL tournament be streamed? Yes. There will be a feature match every round, and I will be commentating over it on this very channel. Legacy Spellseeker Zenith Cyborg Birds of Paradise League when? What are you talking about? Yorion. Sudden Demise. I have no idea what's Sudden Demise. This is a Hornet Queen. This is like, what is... those Green Sun Zenith decks, bros. They don't seem so good. But they do win, I guess. It's good enough for that. Do I spell pierce this? I think it would not be terrible to spell pierce this, but more of a main carpet deck than a GSC deck, yeah. I guess. True. If I want to use spell pierce. No perspectives for double spelling anyways. Hornet Queen is better than Avabrook Caretaker. True. True, I guess. Bros, I am going to die to Yorion. With high likelihood. How's it going with you, URR? I went 2-3 in the first league, but I think most games were winnable. To an extent. Just draw iteration, you say? It is true that I have drawn no iterations, which poses a problem. Am I still looking for a coach? Yeah, I guess the 2-3 results put me in the coaching mood again. I'd really like to trade Unholy Heat for this, but I can't. Can I explain again why am I playing some number of DRCs? That is because it is a strong monster. And I think it is useful against... Like, when... It doesn't really matter that much, but I feel more comfortable with more 1-reps in my deck. I wouldn't mind playing two of those. But like when the card is bad, it's not bad to an extent that some people are making it sound to be what they grabbed. The Emrakul? No, Omnath. And yes, I will board out my single DCR in against the Yorion deck. It's fine, it was a 1-mana creature trade for a 1-mana removal spell. They drafted the same as the 2-mana creature would. I could have drawn iteration, but looking at my hand, I died from cringing. And decided I no longer can draw iteration. I think Brazil is pretty poor here. I have Subtlety and Fury. This matchup is Siren Hairs. They have the it does make sense. Traverse. That houses a decent amount of stuff. Is any card in my deck currently weaker than Blood Moon would be? Is under question to answer to ourselves, which is always extremely hard to answer. Nothing on the play, I will. No, Spell Pierce is like super, I think. Not gonna cut Spell Pierce, I think. I guess they play Traverse too, which fetches basics too. So they have like super access to basics. Yeah. Okay, not mooning against Traverse, you're right. There's no point. They have so many tools to invalidate Moon. So I just say that card. This is a 4-lander, but Iteration Dispute. No answer to Ren, but I'll keep. If I find Bobble, I would play it to find a monster for turn 2. Nice deck. Sure, like Moon affects them in other ways too, but also it affects them the other in other ways, but it also affects me in ways, right? Because so in general, playing with Moon is the case of the grass always being greener on the other side. As when I look at my decks and I try to sideboard, think about whether I want to sideboard the Moon, the answer is almost always no, I don't, unless it's Amulet or Hammer. And still always comes at a significant cost. Yet I lose to Moon often. So tricky situation. Don't really want to grab land off of this. Don't want to get his counter spell. They play counter spell. Let's see if they have Isefang Quatol. Okay, so they might. They didn't have Quatol and they didn't cast a thing, so I would assume they have counter spell. So I only iterate if I'm willing to dispute the counter spell. But it's gonna be a weak iteration. I don't want to grab lands off of it. I don't have normal counter spells either. Maybe I can bobble myself, see if I have a cool card on top. That is going to influence my decisions. If I see a juicy 1-drop, like Consider or Monkey on top, I will iterate. If not, I think I'll just pass. Wait until the end of the next turn to pounce the aura when they leave the forest untapped. That seems like a waste. I should make them go to cleanup by even 10. Well, land. I don't want to draw the lands either, so I guess not wanting to draw the land is also a reason to iterate, because maybe I can instead draw a card and play a 1-drop. Kurma Gangler is better. I mean, it depends. But the Delph creatures are mostly good in when they're Delph creatures are mostly good when they dodge some removal. It's like that's the reason why they're good. The fairy for them is actually really good still, because they bounce the Abandon Grow, but I can go Murktide, Heat, the fairy. Keep counter spell, and then I have Charm too. Where does the removal play in the toughness? Well, have you never played any Magic? It's toughness or CMC? Most often for the Delph creatures, right? So, well, it depends on where you want to play that card, right? If you... not nice. Here I would have probably left Charm open. Why would I not play the dragon? That seems weird. Why would you keep the Charm open? If 7 cards in hand, it's likely you end up with no dragon and nothing in hand. Okay, no, I have Charm in hand. Well, they did act first, right? And then I slammed all my stuff, but that's what I did. They got me good with the verdict, though.
I just 50D with Living End, thanks to your immaculate sideboard guide which can be accessed in the sub-only Discord of Canister by spending a measly $5 or your free Twitch Prime to sub to www.twitch.tv/canister_mtg. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I'm glad you had a good time, even though many say it's a scam in the chat lately. I was not sure if I should deploy the Shredder because I will die. It will die for no value, likely.
He's a phenomenal control player.
Thank you for the gifted subs. I guess every day we're going to be falling.
He's a phenomenal control player.
A little bit outside of 700. And then somebody's going to...
He's a phenomenal control player.
Bring it up to 700, say 700 POG, and then it's going to repeat over and over. If you're interested, you can analyze the game later. It seems cool. Sure. I mean, it seemed like a relatively simple scenario. And like the way you described it, like want to make them slam stuff, you want to make them play stuff, then play the regent. I don't think there would have been a better window in this. But maybe just passing is a way to play too. Because it is true that sometimes you can make it so that Yorion dies with cards in hand. At least that's how I was dying as Yorion. Can draw iteration. But like against the verdict it will not disappear and I can't replay against the verdict ever, right? Well, that's what I did. I countered a good stuff iteration. Just had a well too. Yeah, the iteration was probably the more questionable play. I think like playing the Murktide with counterspell, that seems so simple to me in that spot. Although, of course, I am also losing this game, so. But I think the rushing of the first iteration was the more interesting spot. Reveal Semraku, the promised end. Mm. Alright, Emrakul, then do this. What is the max number of subs the stream ever had? I don't know how to acquire data for this. Of this kind. Damn, the Yorion deck looked so good now, this game. Almost made me want to play it. This was my hand. It is a bit weak, but I think I keep this iteration. I play Consider. They play Abundant Grove. I pass. I think it broke. Whoops. Okay, it unbroke. Not to make it just play. Does it make it just play? Yes. So here I got Jubeda into playing the iteration. I think that was a bad move. Because we knew they have counterspell from the mana. And if I don't play the iteration, I can keep the bobble till I have fetch land. Flood anyways, but I'll draw the fetch, then I could fetch away something. But from this spot, it seems vastly better to play the dragon than not to play the dragon to me. Get punished by verdict, that's really the only thing. Solitude plus Vel is not possible. But the iteration could have been not played, and I'm not sure if it would be enough to overcome my opponent's powerful cards this game, but alright. Let's go. Bros. 4-color Yorion is unfair. It has too much stuff this year. Yeah, because the Teferi was also a divination that I had to kill. So I traded. It was a 3-for-1, the Teferi. So it was really tough to risk that. The best place to dodge the matchup, lul. Yeah, sure. So I blame that loss on the Twitch chat area 2000 for inciting the poor moves.
He's a phenomenal control player.
Here
Can he
maybe you could
dab?
play Scaling turn for Steam Vents turn 1. No rush. Maybe kind of rush, but gives me, well, it's kind of okay. The very well would destroy me though, that's true. Thank you, Mind Goblin Games. I think you can play a tempo where you lose. Sure. No, but the playing the region on that turn was. It seems so. It's incredibly vastly better than not playing it. I'm sure about that because that just seems true. But again, shouldn't have played that iteration on the turn. I could have not played the iteration. Yes, it is likely I would lose still, but like I'll die to very well. Wait, Da Vinci said that I think if you can't play the tempo way, you lose. So which one is it? Oops. Okay, I haven't thought about that possibility. I only have 3 card types, otherwise I'll be able to kill the dragon. It might be that my best move is to go hit dragon anyways. To create an 8/8. As sad as it is. Because we're missing creature that does not occur in the graveyard naturally. Nice grindy match. Let's just discard 2 cards. So I don't really want to block. Because they kill me with 2 attacks and a bolt. I kill them. Also play my Otawara. Wait, when did the Otawara end up in the battlefield? It was turn haste. Alright, let's block the Ragavan then. No, they had each lens. Okay. When did I play the Otawara Bros? Turn 3. Yeah, it can really not. Well, I cast 4 removal spells on the dragon, chat. It's a double Master's Bolt. If I draw iterations, I can come back, yeah. And they don't draw iterations, so 2 criterias are necessary. Shit. I died. Or we can win with a dragon. With, yeah, maybe the top 3 cards will contain no cards. Should I play the Shredder? Probably not. Probably when I want to connive. Connive away land, find iteration. They do have 3 counter spells in their deck, and they might very well have one though, so. Is Present Borrower good? Yes. O ja pierdolę. Co mam zrobić teraz? Probably cast Bolt. Canal pass. Can cast Shredder. Maybe avoid making spell spears live though. And avoid them the ease of connive. Sure. I just spent 2 bolts, so now you can play a shredder, yeah. You can connive, by the way, bro. Whoops. Okay. The Delph cards and Modo are a little bit infuriating because they take a long time to cast, but you know they're casting them. And you know it's gonna happen. Let's perform the action of cutting 4 counterspell because it served me well. Oops. I guess on the draw subtlety makes sense, but on the play it makes even more sense too. Kind of a double-edged sword type card. I am on the play. You can limit the dragon for other fluster. You don't cut 4 counter spells. I know, but I did that yesterday and I liked it, so I'll repeat that. Yeah, also the 2 Brazils over the Jace as cap. Lightning bolt, dispute, snare. Like 6 cards. Could blind cycle bobble, or I could use it with consider to scry. I consider scries anyway, so. Well, but you get to get an extra scry if you like the card.
He's a phenomenal control player.
Ads are actually good.
Can
They
draw another
remind you
ledger
you are not
shredder.
subscribed to your favorite streamer.
But I also would like to make land drops, I think. I think that trumps all of the other moves. They have lightning bolt. Thank you, Alex and Titians, for your commitment to the odds. Dash, sure. Come on, let's go. Hit a bubble. No bubble. Okay. So I have lightning bolts for my Mragavan. Let's hit a land. Not hit land. They've shown willingness to dash, so. I mean, make my land drop, but it's not even particularly good. I could play my monkey traded for the bolts, but maybe they will need to discard and clean up or make moves because they're gonna go to 8 cards. No delirium, so missing a land in my delirium too. I think I bolt. If they perform moves, I can retaliate with an iteration, but most likely it just dies. I have 2 iterations, so maybe I should have played one, but there is the kind of possibility of the iteration being nicer at some spot, and maybe they will overdraw at some point. Unlikely, but we draw to 9. I could do stuff, could draw with mine, that seems poor though. They will be still able to use their spell pierces effectively. They counter spell, so I think they have no spell pierce because they would have cast a spell pierce. So I think I should iterate first on the assumption they have no spell pierce. No spell pierce, no fluster, no dispute. Yeah, they would spend those first. Which one is gonna be better in my hand? I think dispute. Because the dragon is going to re-enter their hand. What is called petty theft when it bounces the card and doesn't steal it? So I don't want to play that dragon because they're gonna have 8 cards. 9 cards. So it seems poor to me to play. Five, 5. Mm-hmm. When Amulet only stream, not soon. So they have the bolt still. So I think lead on Holy Heat on this, then dash, throw out a bolt, play the second monkey. Keep iteration for future turns. Trade monkeys if possible. What about a Yarian only stream? Good question. The dispute. Maybe this person was better. It's going to be super hard to use dispute now. They get another treasure. Ouch. Got to worry that. Yeah, just absolutely should have gotten the spell snare instead of the dispute. Dispute was a worse pickup. At this point, they had a treasure. Hairs. I have 2 dragons in my deck. I think it might be time to iterate for dragon, try to dominate this way. Well, One more cards in my hand then in that spot. In that case. Counter spell. I had many counter spells in this game. Well, two. And the plans of the spell pierces did not work out super in this spot so far. But also, if this was actually a snare, I think would be potentially game changing. If you play this more than one day, maybe an overall win-lose would be cool, maybe. Or if possible, we keep counterspell instead of pierce and fluster. It is an option too. I had many instances where the 2 cost of counterspell was bug breaking. But also, obviously, this game, it was not, because the game kind of stalled and like, well, my point was able to use 2 counterspells pretty okay, and I had a dead dispute. But again, that seemed to be a result of a misplay. I'll play one last match today. So far today, I went 2-5 in leagues. Damn. Solid score, but 2-5 and 7,000 different lessons. That sounds like my Blu-ray experience. I'm glad I finally caught up to your level of play. Awesome. This hand, I'll keep it. I guess. Yeah, I think I'll keep it. I wonder what free spells with MH3 give us. Truly interesting. I think Blu-ray is very bad in this moment. What do you think? I think it is not very bad. Blu-ray literally won a challenge yesterday. Potem change calibrated blast. Co to jest? Co to ma być? Five Boserius in the sideboard. Imagine letting calibrated blast win the game, win the tournament. Yeah, this is a pretty nonsensical build. Probably what my opponent from the last round played. How many triumphs though? Just one? Okay. No, two. Raw green 2. Cringe. For me, it is surprising that no blue-red list plays Force of Negation. Could you please name a deck where Force of Negation, against which Force of Negation is good, against which it excels? Because that might help clarify your doubt. Calibrated Blast. Yes, it's decent against Calibrated Blast. I mean, only common plays Force is only because Violent Outburst is an instant. I would prefer use to this to unclog. Probably gonna trade for a counter, which is fine, I think. Yeah, like Force costs 2 cards, which is a very hefty cost. That's just it. Could it be that Charm is bad? Many seem to dislike it. I like it, but many people are like, oh yeah, in the mirror, I don't like it. Against 4 color, I don't like it. Which is interesting to me. I think consider Firewall is kinda needed here. Not perfect, would rather prefer to hit it with the first one, but it is what it is. A 6/6 is pretty small, yeah. It's kinda weird that I played it, but wait. Am I supposed to do this? I already shocked, so I guess I'll do it. think you should ball because they have counter spell, so they'll connive anyways. They can't connive? Oh, because they already cast the spells previously. Obviously. Okay, I misunderstood. You're right. Where's your counter spell, bro? Murktide is a hard deck cap. This, but no cap. La 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 la. Jezus Maria, no. Mam plać te shadery, mam grać czy nie? No chyba zagram jakieś shadery, no. I think my opponents plays around my spell pierce very much. But like they have enough mana to cast their counter spell anyways, like at least make them spend it. Albania pulsuje od matchupu. Somehow my 6 card hands doesn't even have a bolt. We have only one monkey. I keep counterspell, but I don't progress, and it's just so bad for me. They do things. What happened to my Murktide? It blocked and got unholy heated. It blocked their Murktide. Every time I play Blue-Red Mirror, it feels like a opponent has it all. My deck just doesn't function at all. Yeah, I mean, that probably is a skill issue. Maybe I just get lucky every time, probably, yeah. Could win because opponent flat spot. I mean, I think I'm assuredly winning because I do think I have a skill issue too. You actively want to have more lands out in the mirror. Opponent can deploy threat and counter. Sure, but I'm going to win this game. I'm not saying what I want, I'm saying what's gonna happen. So they might want to have the lands, but they're also gonna lose. You lost lots of mirrors, I assume. That was a nice move into this counter spell. This mirror is fun. I'm winning hard. Never polished. I played 2 DRCs, that's the reason. I would skip the Ragavan attack because they have a Spider Bluff Canal. Alright, let's board 2 Blood Moons. And a Tormod Script. Maybe Fury too. JK, they're actually not that good. Haha. Got pranked. Pretty hard. I should attack before casting spells with the blue-red deck. Did you want to go for Connive here for some reason? No, I wouldn't attack with Ragavan on this last turn because I knew they had Spider Bluff Canal on top. What we do, they drag on and 2 counterspell, you leave 2 counterspell. Try cut Pierce. If I cut Pierce on the draw, I will die to a License Fairs to an extent. It's kind of beatable, but we can have an explosives if we cut the Pierce. So bad. It's probably not good. Fine, this is a passport DRC gamer. Press down kills crude hairs. Yes, but do you know the issue with that line? They don't crew their hairs. Well, I have a one lander, so maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that convinces you as to why I did that. But hairs is almost never crewed. It's not really feasible. How do I feel GTS compares to Murktide? Struggles in the heads-up matchup, but doesn't struggle as much in other matchups. Overall, it is worse, yeah. I think. Much easier to pick Folklore apart when you Thoughtseize look at their hand. Also, it's a hammer, so. Yeah, I guess those two. I would play GDS if it wasn't behind the Monkey Mirror TBH. Yeah. Does GDS play any copies of Murktide Nets? No. It's not good in that deck. You must say, why? But then the answer is, well, it's not. It would be. There is a paragraph explaining that in the sub in Discord, so you can find the answer here. I play GLS here, Shader. I think I do vibe with Grixis a little bit better, mainly because it's worse. I think I vibe more with worse decks oftentimes. Because I'm a bit of a scrub and I don't vibe with a deck when it's the best deck ever. Doesn't seem like I have a great reason to play the Shredder here. I don't know, bros, what would you do? It's kind of like a situation where it seems impossible for me to determine the stronger play, but also I don't know. What GLS equals Grixis Ledger Shadow. GLS means Grixis Ledger Shader. It's the same naming convention as GDS, Grixis Death Shadow. Just the deck is named after the most important creature in it. Thoughts on deploying a Brazil Borrower? Seems weak, wasting the petty theft. Seems really weak, I don't want to do that. Like the tempo move, like what, I'm gonna deal like what, 6 damage? It's not gonna do anything this game. Okay, I still counter iteration the next turn. And my hand is getting clogged. I think it is time to play Shredderoni and accept it's that they have to bolt. They have bolt. Oh, nice. Red, bolt. Okay, they have bolt. Sure. Okay, so that means. What does it mean? Reactive hand. I still don't have Delirium. Still no land drop, so I still can play my Shredder. But I can also not play it, and it's gonna be probably better. Yeah. Pull up in the forward focus. 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 Pull up un. Pull up in the forward focus, pull up in. Skur. I've been on my grind. Now they have delirium. Maybe I'll AOT, pierce, heat rather. And I would want to connive away the pierce though. That would require counter spell. I mean, we are at 4 lands, Bo. The pierce is not so bad. Yet. The UUR armor is skill intensive in the O2 bracket. Yeah, good players never lose. May I consider even? Don't really know what I want. Earth is fine. Dragon's fine. This game is just playing like a card at a time and it gets defeated by opponent's card. Rinse, repeat. So the ideal thing would be to make them spend a counter spell on Ragavan, which is gonna be more likely to happen more often. Or I want to play the Hearse because it's the best ASCP. If it gets countered, it's also fine. Doesn't really matter. But this can be dealt. This can be answered with a smaller amount of cards than this. So I think that makes me want to play Monkey because you have 4 cards and also doesn't tap me out of counterspell Pierce, which I really want to spend the Pierce at the next possible opportunity. Is it game 2 or 3 already? It feels like we are sitting there forever. Why are we here? Why are we here? Just to play Blurred Murktide Mirrors? I mean, it is pretty interesting, but it does also feel like a long time already. Also, chat, if you had a choice of a punishment, you know, the living end simulation, 100 years of living end punishment, right? How many spells in the graveyard? Just one. It's kind of all in on the drag on. Would you, and you were given a choice of 100 years of Murktide mirrors versus living end mirrors, which one would you choose? I think non-zero amount of people would choose living end mirrors. Like, definitely much easier to see how one would like them. They go on a little bit slowly though. No, I have 6. Ay. 4-color mirrors, but untimed. That's actually benefit. 100 years of anything sucks, TBH. This is supposed to be punishment, not a pleasure. Not a, like, vacation. Yeah, it's better to use here's an upkeep, that's true. You're right. 100 years of 4-color mirror, complete 5 to 6 matches, so funny. I haven't seen soft counters from them, but I'll untap. I need to get a new chair. Recommendations. Yeah, buy the something Miller chair for thousands of dollars. I bounce the monkey. Spend my heat to kill the Murktide Knight. I have no answer to this. You can block it with the Brazzers, yeah. Omega punish for F6 against that consider. Brazen can't block Ragavan. Yes, but I didn't say that Brazen Borrower will block Ragavan. I said that I will block Ragavan. Let's go Murktide Regent, Spellsner. How many pierces are you keeping in? I have won this game, but I think they are performing pretty poorly. Somewhat consistently, so maybe you shouldn't. Like, Fluster would actually be alive till somewhat late in the game for 1 mana, but pretty narrow. O, Miczówka, Barczek, gadaj. No przecież dostałeś krzesło. To o chuj ci chodzi, byku. Yeah, keeping Brazen Borrower to block. Ciekawy jestem. A dobrze się siedzi wygodnie, czy nie? Bo nie pytałem w sumie. Dobrze. No dobrze, to super się siedzi. O no. Murktide Ledger Shredder. What does Baba mean? It's a colloquial way to say woman. How big is it? I think 4/4. I want to draw 2. Do I want to draw 2 in response? That seems weird. I mean, I'm bound to draw a dragon of myself. I cut one. It's not free, it's a 4/4. Alright, let's draw 2, yeah. They have a Ragavan and an unknown. O ja pierdolę. Tough. I think this game might come down to not using the Pearson consider. Race with hairs, question mark. Seems like that's my modus operandi now. We draw Tawana now, no worries. I did. I mean, it's not that good though. One more hairs activation to make it a. To make an 8/8 before we attack. Oh shit, attacking against Ragavan is scary shit. No, bro, what the hell are you doing? What the fuck are you two doing here? We'll bounce the dragon end of turn, I think.
He's a phenomenal control player.
Gigakut.
Oh no, I grew the drag on. Oh, toward the borrower. Shit, I missed that line. Bailed by the iteration. But that was a good line. And bottom exile. Tower the borrower would have been nice. Wow, too much, actually. It's so weird. I ambush monkey. I'll just accept the free. Exile the spells beforehand. Seems better. Not sure. There is a dragon hidden in my deck somewhere. 0 threats. I do have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 vehicle in my deck. Finally, a use for the spell pierce. At 440, and there is potentially game free to play. Kept all the counter spells, seems like. What a game. How many have they cast? Yeah, then. Oh, they're here. 1, 2, 3. 3 counter spells cast. Yeah, I mean, the Harris is just the UI of Harris is. Please finish the URR week early. No, I'm learning. O kurwa mać, dobra. 7. We lost because I F6 and didn't spell piece I consider, which was funny. But spell piece was so bad in this game. We didn't see Harris even from my opponents, and I'm on the play. Let's have the DRC back. Let's have an extra counter spell. There is a meta in my sideboard because that's what Pegonti told me to do, but I didn't see any graveyard hate. And I said earlier that it does seem misguided to me. Let's have a spell piece on the play though, because it can help. No way they not play Harris. I think there is definitely a way they don't play Harris. It's not that great of a card. Carrying Fred Snake John versus Gen top deck war matchup seems kinda cringe. NGL. Well, it would look kinda cringe in that matchup, yeah, but it is not that matchup. Let's have a Harris answer, maybe. Okay. Yeah, but it's a good reason. Sunday John on John top deck Fred matchup. It was a game that ended up in a situation like this, but like, I think the arguments for cutting Murktide is already exhausted by there being 3 Murktides in the deck to begin with. It's like Delusion build of blue reds, sure, yeah. Do. Why'd I play my land first, bros? Well, anyways, let's cast it anyways. No, I should have played my land. Yeah. Dios mío, so bad. Okay. 3 minutes, place. So it didn't seem like a particularly powerful card to counterspell, but seems like they disagreed. It's because of the clock copium, yeah. Wait, what was the pond? I did play the lands before iterating. Then I could have hit a land from iteration, would have just played the land instead of not playing the land and playing a different card. Oh, I'm hacking conniving, bros. Too late for Spellsner. Now they find heat and attack me. Is it too late for Spellsner? What would you discard? Consider? Sounds valid. Which card is better, Escape to the Wilds or Urban Evolution? Pretty clearly Escape. Another game lost. Don't count your horses, bros. Hold your horses, rather, don't count them. Not sure what are your plans for those subtleties. It's to counter Murktide regions, but I think it's a little bit hard to perform in practice. Pigonti Cyborg Guide advised sporting in 2, which seemed extreme to me. I've had games where subtlety shined when it was a game that was about casting early Murktide regions. So that happened to me for sure. Don't count your hearses, bros. But the past few games it was horrid. Bit of a random casting here, but interesting choice, TBH. Whoa. Nice and licensors. Buddy. I side one copy in the mirror. Alright, in that case you wanted to play two in general and one in the mirror. One subtlety, yes. In that case one. I'll have a minute too, so maybe let's move. Or I could let it happen. I don't know. They play dragon on the last card. It's 8-8. Can't use this. I do like subtlety versus four color, yeah. I would circumvent around well. Raz, dwa, trzy, cztery, pięć, sześć, siedem, osiem, dziewięć. I would like if this card would just say how big it is. Like having to manually count the cards, it's insane. I think I should have let this shredder go. I shouldn't have countered it. It's slightly better than Edergas for the 4-color matchup. I think Edergas is unplayable. It's actively gonna lower your win rate, I think. Subtleties probably should enlarge it, so would follow that. It's better. You also can Edergas the Fairy Time Raveler, which is, I think, a pretty huge downside. Wait, what? Area of bolts, so what? 2 bolt selves? What does a bolt do? Oh, this grows. Sure. From this. Well, I also have 12 seconds, so. How big is it? 12? Okay, we died. Interesting game. The last one was poor. Because I didn't... have time. The second was lame because... I have 6 in that one point, and then like I think it just ruined the game. So I'm 0-3, which puts my results today at 2-6 in matches pros. But I think most of the games were winnable. Interestingly, in many spots. Also, I could have auto-warred my Brazil borrower, and then I would have been up a Brazil borrower, which also probably would be good enough. So that play I didn't see to auto-warr my own guy. Response to the removal over the dragon. Well, I had to bolt first because Twitch chat was clamoring for bolt Otawara, for Otawara borrower. Yeah, also countering the bird was like, but that was a time issue. I wouldn't have countered it otherwise. Feels like my opponent played very... Wait, stop. Stop! Was it already? Did it already happen? It already happened. Here I tap hairs and they respond with a bolt. So I could have saved my own guy, and I could have then bounced the dragon and played the... and be able to block Ragavan in this spot. So I was also game losing. But there was also a spot where I have 6 with a spell pierce versus consider, which would also like make them not draw a card, and then it would be fine too. So okay. I think Blue Red is more base than Grixis Shadow. I think it's less base but more powerful. Stronger. But as I said earlier during the stream, I vibe more with Grixis. But that might mean that Grixis is just a worse deck, and I vibe more with worse decks because I want to be winning with a not the most popular deck. I do enjoy not playing with the card Blood Moon because as potent as it is at times, it is a card that infuriates me and that I think I typically, I don't know, it just works for me super rarely, and maybe I play it worse than people. Maybe I like sideboard it less often than people do. Maybe I sideboard it in the wrong spots. Maybe I don't sideboard it in the spots where I should. but for the most part I end up with the card being pretty bad for me, and kinda it infuriates me to play it because it is a card that you can mana screw people with, but it's a strategy that I really dislike to pursuing, as it works only like really like between 40 to 60% of the time. It's really huge fail rate, and the fail rate is being almost useless. Well, it's not super great at mana screwing people nowadays, but people still do that. Blood Moon is key to beating GDS for me. Sure, yeah. But then it's also a deck with UU spells. Is Ledger Shredder 100% better than DRC in this deck? Obviously not. DRC has upsides like costing less mana. I think it's a sideboard card for Amulet, 9000 cover and Elementals, Throne and GLS. Fair. I have heard of strategies of boarding Blood Moon against Hammer on the play to stop Urza's Saga. Frequently when you hear people talking about a matchup, it is interesting to hear how it goes from both sides. And you might have like a Hammer player, a Murktide player thinking, damn, I never want the Blood Moon versus Hammer, that's like terrible. But then the Hammer player will say, oh yeah, I actually got mooned by a Blue Red player the other day, and it's just so good. Many people just don't realize how good it is against me. It is tricky. Blood Moon is also a card that you see played, and when you see it deployed, it's typically very good, but when you see it uncast, you don't see it was that often. So that's tricky. Tomorrow we're going to be do more learning. Yesterday on stream, Black Red beat Hammer in the semis with a Blood Moon, sure. I like Blood Moon versus Creativity, yeah. Although, I had a game where it was really bad against Batutinka yesterday. Where Batutinka boarded into super into both claims and Bossages, and I failed to board out my Blood Moon. But also my experience with playing Creativity was that my blue-red opponent just played a Blood Moon and I died, right? It is that thing where the grass is always greener. But how green can it really be? What is the ultimate green color that you're searching for? Who the heck knows? Fury is the cringiest sideboard card. I'm not even sure why you play it. I play Fury because I like the hardcasting aspect of it, but second subtlety I was thinking of replacing it with a second subtlety. But the Hammer and Yawgmoth is where it's pretty strong. My experience with Fury versus Hammer is opponents 11-11. I have a Pyrokinesis. Sure, because they literally never play Esper Sentinel and some small shits on top of it. But it is a possible thing to happen, yeah. Can we talk about EE for a bit? Hammer Rhinos kills tokens from creativities that can cast creativity. It's problematic that under Moon you cannot do Dragon plus counter backup. It does tend to be problematic a little bit, which means that Blood Moon is much better when you keep Ragavan in your deck, but also Ragavan is not really all that welcome in the deck against Hammer, and it's not really all that welcome in the deck against creativity either. But yeah, Fury against Hammer is actually not my favorite use of Fury, as I just play those cards more with the intention of casting them rather than evoking them. And I like Fury against 4-color. Actually, that's the real reason. That's the real place where I actually liked it. Also from the experience of playing 4-color versus blue-red, being that sometimes the game like resources traded, Fury cast, finish a planeswalker, kill the Nomnath, and it's a pretty tough threat to deal with. But yeah, if you play DRCs, there's also a better justification for Fury, that is true. It's pretty better at being castable then. What do you think of a 2/2 Fodscar / Consider split for Murktide with black? Consider is like a blind cantrip is not really a good effect. Cantrip with selection is a decent effect. I think Fodscar is not really a great card to be playing. Anyways, I'm finishing the stream now. Thank you for watching my painful, I guess, Murktide gamings. We will 5-0 tomorrow, maybe. Maybe not. I don't want to promise on something I will not be able to deliver. Let's send you over to Yellow Hat is playing some shit formats on shit platforms, so let's skip that. 8k Spectre and Fantas. This deck is pretty funny. See you tomorrow.